What up, you guys? Your boy the Scientist, and it seems that Kodak Black has been put on solitary confinement for making a freeway phone call. He's in prison for weapons charges, marijuana charges, and he used to be in there for a couple of more charges, child neglect, more gun charges, stuff like that. 3 charges have been dropped, 4 charges are still there, and it seems that he has been put on solitary confinement because he was making a call to his man, which was cool, but then he, without letting people know, or without it being authorized, he made a freeway call, which means that there was a third person he was also calling with. This is not allowed, so he was put on solitary confinement. Now, is making a freeway call against rules, and can you get placed in solitary confinement because of it? Now, is it a little crazy to put somebody in solitary confinement over that? Yes, it is. I mean, as far as I know, I've been looking through it. The lawyer says that he's never, in his 30 years of practice, has ever encountered something like this. Whenever I try to look through any of this, the only case I could really find was Kodak's case, but I couldn't find anywhere saying that a freeway call can get you in solitary confinement. Now, of course, being put in solitary confinement is something that the guards themselves can decide if that's the right thing to do, of course, at the end of the day. But a freeway call is a little much, if you ask me. I understand that he's been caught with weapons, and people say that he's a real menace, and all that stuff. So maybe making a freeway call can mean that you're making a call to your mans, and your mans who you're maybe like doing allegedly criminal activity with or whatever. But still, first you get them find that out or something, and then deal with it as it follows. Putting him in solitary confinement, if you ask me, is a little much. Because being put on solitary confinement or the lockdown pretty much means that you don't really have any contact in the outside world. You can't go outside, stuff like that. You're in there pretty much 24 hours a day with no outside contact except for the guards. Sometimes they'll let you out for a little bit, but that's pretty much not something that happens, you know what I mean? Like, most of the time you're just in there 24 hours, and sometimes they'll switch it up to 23 or 22, but a lot of times they'll just forget about you as well and just keep you in there for days and days, and sometimes even weeks, or in some cases even a month or a couple of months. So, I mean, solitary confinement can be a pretty much, if you ask me, a completely wrong thing, completely criminal thing, and they would just throw sometimes like homeless people in there or other types of people just because they don't want to deal with them. So they're just like, okay, we'll just, make sure we don't have to deal with you by making sure we don't have to see you. Solitary confinement has broken a lot of people. Definitely causes for mental damage. One of the things that's the easiest to break somebody is if they're completely ignored. You have multiple tests of people just going completely batshit because of that. Is that gonna happen with Kodak? I don't think so. He's a jailbird. He's probably more used to this than a lot of other niggas might be. But still, that doesn't make it right. So I feel like this is really wrong, and everybody's just reporting it like, okay, well, I mean, I guess it's happening or whatever, and we don't really have an opinion about it. Well, I'm saying it's wrong as shit, and it doesn't matter if Kodak is a really, quote unquote dangerous dude, or someone who knows what he was doing, or someone who's been in this, blah blah blah. If somebody makes a freeway call and you're against that, then fucking punish him or do something, but don't put him in solitary confinement. That pretty much means that you think he's extremely dangerous. That should be the case for putting someone in solitary confinement. He might hurt somebody else. He might be a danger. Calling a third guy is, if you ask me, that's not really danger. But what do you guys think about it? I did hear that there's a chance that Kodak might be able to bail himself out soon, and a couple of charges are being dropped, so it seems that his lawyer is actively trying to get him out. So it's not just bad news, but this, I feel like, is sort of almost criminal. Like, I don't understand why you should put him on solitary confinement. It's a little much for me. But what do you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.